Gashouse Gang sang for 18 years together. We sang for a couple of years after Rob passed away because we had shows already booked, and so, and we did discuss, should we keep going and find another baritone, or should that be the end of it? It was really me that sort of said, I just don't feel it anymore. You know, when Rob passed away, it didn't feel right anymore without Rob in it for me. And I had no intention of ever singing in another quartet, zero intention. That just was not on my radar at all. I was prepared just to sort of commit myself to the chorus, commit myself to my job, and most importantly, commit myself just to my family. I knew the other three guys very well. Fred Farrell and I, as I said, Fred grew up in the Central States District, so we kind of knew each other from that. Mike Slamka is another person that I had, met off and on through the years, but when Rob got ill, Mike was the first one to really start singing baritone. As a matter of fact, Mike was the one that sang with us when Rob was diagnosed. Rob had to stay home from a show and go to the doctor while we went out to Washington to sing. And it was during that show weekend that we found out that Rob was diagnosed with cancer. Mike was with us then, and he's just a dear person, and so I felt really close to Mike. I didn't know Brandon well at all, but we had at Gashouse Gang, after Rob passed away, we had this trip to Japan that was already booked, and so we decided we needed to go with that. There was no baritone that could get away for the full week, but Brandon Guyton could. He's an amazing singer, as you know. And I just fell in love with Brandon, fell in love with his wife, his whole family. They were just sweet, and I just really liked him. Mike and Brandon found themselves teaching at a school, at a district harmony college. And they were at the Starbucks at the Minneapolis airport and just said, we should call Jim Henry and see if he'll sing with us. So I literally got a phone call. I was in my kitchen, got a phone call from Brandon and Mike saying, would you be interested in singing with us? The three of us got together with Tim Warwick. Not because Tim was going to sing with us, but we didn't have a tenor yet, so we just, Tim was sort of a placeholder. That's a pretty good placeholder. And we started singing. It wasn't so good, but we started singing. And we decided we wanted to go ahead and try it. And they showed me this list of tenors, and we were talking about all these tenors. And finally I just said to them, guys, there's only one tenor. It's Fred Farrell. It's got to be Fred. So we called Fred and asked if he'd come. And I remember we had all the wives and the guys, all 8 of us. And we sang, and then the 8 of us sat down and just said, what do we think? Is this something that our families can handle? Is this something we really want to jump into again? We set some ground rules and said we'll do no more than 1 show a month. We want to devote our time to our families this time around, because the first quartets we spent too much time away. We had a discussion about should we compete at all. None of us were super interested in competing. So we really seriously discussed maybe just not competing and just being, having fun singing, being a show quartet. But you know how things are, you kind of have to compete. I really want to dispel the myth, and whether people believe it or not does not matter to me, but the truth is, we did not get together to win another gold medal. None of us were that interested in that. And that's really what happened. It's just like we were just 4 really good friends that just happened to find ourselves without a quartet.